All right, welcome back. Now, for a while now, many of you know that I have said that the world governments, all governments around the world, should get together, get on the same page, and agree that they're going to round up all of the dogs in their country and euthanize them. One, for safety reasons. Two, for health reasons. We're at the point now where more dogs have been euthanized than the entire dog population itself. In the lifespan of a dog, dogs are said to live between, 10 and 15 years. Okay, how many dogs are euthanized in 1 year? I've shared the numbers before, and I'm going to use the lowest number possible. Okay, here is a similar search. It may be the exact same one that I showed earlier. So about 1.2 million dogs are euthanized every single year. So if a dog lives to be, let's say, 15 years old, how many millions of dogs is that? And that's just the lifespan of one worthless mutt. So we're at the point where it's more immoral to keep them on the earth than it would be to euthanize the entire dog population. They don't benefit us at all. They only reduce our quality of life. But I've often said the small dogs should be euthanized too. Whenever I make this argument, you get some people who say, small dogs are not a big problem. Yes, they are. One, they can still kill you. Because let's just say if they got rid of all large dogs. You know what many of these dog lovers would do? They would own as many small dogs as possible. And if you got 5, 6, 7, 8 dachshunds, they can kill you. An adult, they have. Just look it up. Just use your own Google and look up small dogs kill person. Now that said, most people will say that one of these things are not that dangerous. And they only become dangerous when there's multiple of them. Well, tell that to this lady, Kelly Allen, who had, like I said in the thumbnail, a crater bitten out of her face by a dachshund. Tell her that. And she has what looks like a piece of cardboard with writing on it, but that's actually skin. Skin that they cut off from some other part of her body. 45-year-old woman. One of those 45-year-old women who was lucky enough to still have a decent enough appearance to date. Maybe. She looks considerably older here. But as long as she's in shape, she can find some other men around her age. Not now. Not now. She wanted to stick her face into the face of a dachshund. Now, I didn't even need to read the story. And I knew immediately she had her face all up in a dog's face. Same thing I tell people, don't ever do that. Now, we as Crusade, we're not going around dogs anyway. But just sit back and watch. How many of these people, the first thing they do is run straight up to the dog and stick their stupid face as if they think the dog enjoys that or appreciates it. You got your own experts out here who said dogs take that as a threat. Dog lovers, I need y'all to listen. Pay close attention, please. When you watch two dogs in conflict, what do? They will go right up to that dog and their face will be inches from the other dog's face. Go check it out. The first thing they do is face each other, face to face. Y'all don't give any thought to this. You don't. You just run right up and stick your goofy face right in the dog's face. You see how they worded it? Sausage dog rips. And I'm showing these because most people underestimate how much damage these dogs are able to inflict. And I've told y'all repeatedly, do not underestimate. As long as the things got teeth and can rip, we're humans. We're very vulnerable. So this dog ripped this crater out her face and then ate it in front of her. Her name is Kelly Allen. Looked on in horror after the previously, very friendly sausage dog ate part of her face. Young people, what'd I tell you? What I keep telling y'all? I don't even care if the dog is not attacking you. Don't think that just because you rubbed it once, twice, however many times, that it's safe. Don't think that it will never attack you. That's why I said, just stay away from them. Why did this dog attack her after spending so much time with her? It's because dogs are heartless. They're soulless. They're deranged mutants. They shouldn't be shown affection or anything positive from humans because they, one, don't understand it and don't appreciate it. So let's take a look at what she was doing. What were you doing before this dog attacked you? She's demanding compensation. They later found out that that same dog had attacked 2 different people. And they let her know that this could take several years. Was it worth it? Was it worth it? She's talking about how she's on sick leave and that income does not pay her bills. It's not enough to pay her bills. So she set up a GoFundMe as always. Take a look at how much it ruins your life. This woman said she wakes up crying regularly, crying. She's traumatized. She said she cannot face returning to work. She works at a contact center. She can't return because of the trauma and her physical appearance. She struggles to leave the house without being accompanied by her 2 sons. He also said the, 350 rand pounds, I think it's pounds, of sick pay she's receiving each month is not enough to cover her bills, right? So that's one part of your life that gets ruined by dogs. Okay, you're going to be at the hospital, you're going to be at home, you're going to be out of work, you're going to be receiving smaller checks. Look at how her life changed after this encounter with dogs. You tell me it's not worth it to avoid them completely? Keep reading. Keep listening. Now, she has to wear camouflage makeup. This made for people who have facial disfigurements. She describes it as a horrific scar on her face, and she says it has ruined her life. One bite. That's why I say, euthanize the small ones too. Look at how much one small one impacted her life. She said, it ruined my life because it will never be the same now. She says she's a single mother and can't afford her gas and electric most weeks. It just seems unfair. Well, nobody forced you to go into that home, and nobody forced you to stick your face in that dog's face, which is what I suspect you did. I don't believe you were standing on your feet and the thing leaped off the floor and latched onto your face. You was doing what dog lovers do, putting your face right in its face. Now, to make it even worse, she went over to her friend's house. She had been drinking that day. She was tipsy at this moment. You know, she had her face all up in the dog's face, probably having a conversation with it, asking it questions, answering her own questions for the worthless mutt, and all kind of stuff like that. Now, at first, listen up, young people, the dog showed no signs of aggression. Told y'all, fact of things that these dogs have not shown aggression, that means nothing. She said it was very friendly, didn't show any signs of being aggressive, laying on its back for belly rubs, put its head in her lap a couple of times, behaving like a friendly dog, right? I told y'all it's all deception. But dog lovers fall for it. Look at how precious it is. Oh, laying on its back. It wouldn't harm a fly. But later that evening, she was sitting on the kitchen floor, probably tipsy by now, very tipsy, got her face all up in the dog's face, probably millimeters in the dog's face, probably been kissing on it and all kind of crazy, weird stuff. She was in the kitchen, sitting on the floor, leaning against one of the kitchen counters. What does it sound like to you? Didn't I just describe that? She was on her butt, laying up against the cabinet, and the dog was on her stupid lap. She doesn't include that in the story, but you know that's what was going on, because she said, suddenly the dog's demeanor changed. She said, when I looked away for a split second, she turned her head towards the back door where her friend was sitting. And soon she did that, it latched onto her face. She said the dog pounced, sinking its teeth into her right cheek. So where was the dog, ma'am? On your goofy lap. And you know it. You gonna do it again? You gonna try it again? Now, I know some people, they hear me talk about how you should avoid these mutants, and they say, well, the smaller ones are okay. Are they really? Even if you're an adult, you need to stay away from them. How many more women out there who are maybe attractive want to try this? You want a crater bit out your face too? You don't think this is good enough reason to completely avoid these things? You need your head examined. She said this dog did not bark or growl. Now, speaking of the fact she turned her head, how much would it have helped her to look for the warning signs that these fake professionals talk about all the time? It's not going to help you, because you can't sit there and stare at a dog all day. Got to take your eyes off them sometimes. And when you do, maybe it will show the warning signs. But then it's too late. You missed it and you're being attacked. Let me tell you something. Even if you see those goofy warning signs, you're not going to be able to avoid the attack. Because as you see, those so-called warning signs, they only take place for a split second. I've shown many of those types of attacks. By the time they show these stupid signs, they're usually already in a full-blown attack. Fake experts. She said that she was attacked. It didn't bark, growl. It just attacked. She started, or the dog started to shake its head. It clamped down, held, and shake. It attacked her bully breed style. I told you, all of these dogs can attack like that. All of them can clamp down, hold, and shake. This one was moving its head back and forth. And they do that. And I suspect bully breeds are just more effective. And they're quicker to do it. That's just how they attack. They'll shake their head back and forth and side to side, as we all know. They will fling their head side to side. They're trying to rip the flesh off. That's not really a bite. That's a totally different type of bite than where you just sink your teeth in, pull them back out. Now you're being shredded. Again, severity of attacks should be considered when trying to consider whether or not to ban these things. She said she still can feel, or she could at the time, feel the dog's teeth inside of her cheek. And she says that to this day, she can still feel it, the teeth inside of her cheek. Still getting flashbacks. She remembers shouting, "Get him off," as blood began to pour down her face. Can you imagine that picture? Dog latched onto her face. She's screaming, blood coming out. Oh, some friend, some companion. This the innocent, loving creatures y'all lecture us about? I bet you anything, she gave this worthless mutt a treat. Bet you anything, she fed it, kissed it, showed it affection, and it showed her how much it appreciated it. That's why I say don't give them nothing. Now, another friend rushed into the kitchen, grabbed the dog's collar, but its jaws was locked and would not let go. The only reason he got off is because he ripped that piece of her flesh off and ate it. He didn't release, he pulled it off, and she said, "I felt the skin tear." And this is for all those people who project small dogs as safe and harmless. Now, if they can do this to her, an adult, what do you think they do to a newborn, to a 1-year-old, 2-year-old? They can kill them. One of these things can kill them. This woman she needed help. And they euthanized this worthless mutt. Can't make this up. As she stumbled to her feet, the dog bit her again. This time on the arm. So a sustained attack. This mutt trying to kill her. She said, "I never had so much blood." She was able to break free, run out the room. She's screaming, crying, bleeding. She looked in the mirror and she thought, "Whoa, I'm in trouble." Yes, you are. You was in trouble as soon as you stepped inside of that home. Now check this out. After she had her face bitten off, had that crater bitten out her face, they took her to the hospital and they started to wash the wound with something that looked like a Brillo pad because of all the bacteria that's in dogs' mouths. Dogs have the most and the worst bacteria. That's why their saliva is so deadly. It's deadly. That capnocytophaga, that saliva, they have the dirtiest mouths on the planet, the most dangerous on the planet. And they make it a culture to let these things lick all over them, including their face and mouth. The swelling you see in dog bite injuries, it's because their saliva is so disgusting, toxic, poisonous. How you gonna wash a crater with a Brillo pad or anything look like it? You don't want no friction at all on an injury like that. Them bit a hole out your face or out your body somewhere. You want to scrub that with something look like a Brillo pad? No. Most of us will look, no, you dap it. The most you'll do is tap, tap, right? Tap, tap, and just lay something on it. Thinking that this is just a small wound. No. She said her life has been ruined. She said her confidence has been ruined. Ain't confident to go nowhere right now. The plastic surgery team was supposed to contact her. She received the phone call from the hospital telling her to come back immediately as she needed surgery. So she met with the plastics team who explained what they were going to do. On the operating table, 4 or 5.5 hours, 5.5 hours, before walking with a bandage stitched to her face. Do y'all know that the plastic surgery team had to request that the dog be euthanized? That dog stayed at the owner's home. And it wasn't until they looked at how serious the injury were that they had to send the people to the girl's house, her friend's house, to get the dog to euthanize it. Cannot make this up. She required more than 40 stitches, 36 on her chest, 6 on her arm. Man, she went to that, I think it's Swansea Hospital as well. There was another story took place. Somebody went to the same hospital. So after the attack, it transpired that this was not the first time this dog had attacked someone. She said she didn't want to involve the police, but they were called after staff at the hospital saw the severity of her wounds. And good thing dog was euthanized. He smoked it. Several weeks on ordeal, taking a heavy toll on her mental health. Listen to that. One attack, small dog, look the impact. Says has killed her confidence. And this direct quote, she said, my self-esteem has been absolutely destroyed and I don't go out anymore. If it wasn't for my close friends and families, I don't know where I'd be right now. I can't go to the shops unless my sons accompany me. I just don't live my life. I can't go back to work because I can't face people. I just can't do it. I can't concentrate and I don't know what's going to happen. Now, ma'am, you need to take your behind right back to work because you can work. You just don't want to because you ain't pretty. But this is the lifestyle you chose. You wanted to be a nutter. You need to accept the consequences. Dog bite your face. If you capable of working, you need to take your butt to work and just accept the fact ain't nobody going to be googly eyeing you. Ain't nobody going to be choosing you, flirting with you or nothing like that. You just going to look scary for a while. That's the lifestyle you chose. The incident also put a heavy strain on her finances as she only receives £350 a month. Okay, I don't want to hear your sob story. I want to hear y'all's sob story now. You don't want to listen to us when we tell you to stay away from these things. You want to say that we got a mental disorder. Huh? Y'all came up with some fancy word, called us victims of xenophobia. Now, I bet you wish you had xenophobia now. You wouldn't have went inside that home, ma'am. Oh, no, you wouldn't have. Xenophobia would have saved you. Would have saved you from this attack. And your life would be just as it was before. So all of you dog advocates who think you're going to be able to convince us that we're better off around dogs than avoiding them, you got a task on your hands. Okay, when I start accepting calls and I have a subject for the day like this, you're not going to hear nothing but crickets from the dog lovers. I can guarantee you that. So, hey, ma'am, I can't even say good luck to you. I don't feel not one bit sorry for you at all. And again, young people, do you want this to happen to you? If you've been running around thinking that small dogs are okay, think again. Because a small person, it could be a lot worse. And I'm just talking about one of these things. Stay away from all of them. All of them, all of them. Now, if you do the research, there's been several people attacked by these Dachshund sausage mutts. In this case, it was a grown, flipping, burly man. Look at that. That's his beard. Huh? Budweiser and pork chops. Steak and potatoes eating countryman. Can't make this up. Woman stunned after sausage dog launches an attack on her husband. And that was just last year. These small dogs, they're no different from these large dogs, and they need to be gotten rid of too. And what really upsets me is that a lot of people view these small dogs as safe, and they will buy them for their children. As if it's like a toy. No, they're not. None of them are like a toy. And this has happened several times. Now, what is this? Florida woman survived horror attack, left her arm and leg shredded to the bone. I already showed that one. Hey, dog lovers. Y'all's problem is so prevalent. Look at what somebody wrote for y'all. Somebody wrote an article titled, "Here's how you can avoid the worst. A dog bite to the face. Step 1. Never put your face close to theirs." Snapshot that right there, dog lovers. Y'all even had a fellow dog lover. I don't know if she's a dog lover now. Did y'all really need somebody to tell y'all this? But y'all don't care. You don't care about getting attacked. That's why you go around dogs. So they're going to just say, hey, if I'm going to get attacked, why not put my face in its face? That's what it seems like to me. Hey, why not? So they're not going to listen to this advice. They had to come out and write an article, give you a lecture. Don't put your face in a dog's face. You really cannot make this up. Boy, the dog lovers, boy, y'all are something else. Y'all see how busy y'all keep me?
Today, after being attacked by a group of dogs. This evening, Dallas County Sheriff, we know, is investigating. All of it happened in the 100 block of Pin Oak Road. Amelia Magavro today talking to the man who says he jumped in to help.
The Dallas County Sheriff's Office now investigating a violent dog attack in the small Sand Branch community in Dallas County Friday night. An attack that sent a 52-year-old woman to the hospital.
And that's what it is, a vicious attack. Yeah, they wouldn't have stopped till she's dead.
Ricky Harris says his female neighbor was walking up to his yard when he says a group of 8 pit bull mixes ran off his property and started attacking her. That's when he stabbed the dogs to get them off of her.
But I was just stabbing dogs. They come up to bite her. I didn't care what it was. One of them got me.
Now, I was laughing with the members last night about this man because I could not understand what he said in that moment. If anybody understands what he said, please let me know. But I thought this was hilarious. And he's a dog lover. He said he was just stabbing dogs. And I wanted to know what he said because it sounds funny.
Dogs to get them off of her.
But I was just stabbing dogs. They come up to bite her. I didn't care what it was.
I turned the captions on last night as well because I didn't get
dogs,
that.
They come up
I just started. Wait.
to bite her. I didn't care what it was.
That's when he
was. One of them got me.
Okay, I don't understand. Maybe it's the Texas accent, but he went from feeding these dogs, being nice to them, to stabbing them.
Property and started attacking her. That's when he stabbed the dogs to get them off of her.
But I was just stabbing dogs. They come up to bite her. I didn't care what it was. One of them got me. Right there.
But investigators say the dogs belonged to Harris, so we also asked him if the dogs were his.
I cared for them. I bored them, but they wasn't my dogs.
Harris claims to have been boarding more than a dozen dogs on his property.
Been boarding more than 12 dogs. This is his property here.
And the dogs had not been.
Look at him. So he's a super nutter. Super nutter. Out here feeding just random dogs. He said they're not his. Feeding them like they birds. Here you go, buddy. This is madness.
Been aggressive towards him. While we were there, we could see.
He said they had not been aggressive towards him. But if they were, he would be easy work. But he's out there risking his life anyways. He may have been stabbing dogs, like he said. It won't be that easy if you're the target. So he out there risking his life, just like all the rest of the dog lovers.
While we were there, we could see multiple unleashed dogs roaming around his home and street.
I don't miss them at all, because if they're going to do something like that, I don't want them around.
We also knocked on the victim's home, but no one answered. And the sheriff's office has not said whether or not there will be any charges filed in this case. The 8 dogs are now being held here at the SPCA of Texas.
8 dogs. And what's crazy is they ran off of his porch to launch the attack against the lady. So it sounds like he was feeding these dogs.
Now at 5:30.
Oh. Okay, this was uploaded 19 hours ago. Just like my Nutter News series, whenever I share news stories at the tail end of a story, it's usually recent news. This was uploaded 4 hours ago. Woman bruised, stitched up after she was attacked by a mutt in Oakley.
A story you'll only see here on Fox 19.
We are speaking to training experts on how to protect yourself or your dog after recent attacks across the tri-state.
Yeah, our Brenda Ordonez spoke with one of the victims. She is live from where it happened.
Yeah, Megan, Trisha, that victim tells me she was training for that Flying Pig Marathon that's happening in less than 2 weeks when she was running down this sidewalk and a dog attacked her, biting her thigh, causing her to fall over. Now, she says she's had to get numerous stitches and rabies shots. She tells me that she's still planning to run that marathon and now wants just people to be more aware of their pets and more protected about what to do if these incidents do arise.
When I was running by, it started barking, and the next thing I know, it's on my leg biting me.
The bruises you see on Jenny Harris's face happened on April 13th in Oakley. She was training for the Flying Pig Marathon when she says a dog attacked her.
The tooth got into me, like, I don't know about it, like this much.
This is a photo of that bite mark. Harris says she's had to get a series of rabies shots and has developed somewhat of a fear.
It's going to take me a while to be not anxious around running around dogs.
Oh, really? Look at how many dog lovers develop xenophobia. They're always crossing the street. At the very least, they'll say the same thing she said. They'll avoid certain types of dogs or all dogs, or say, oh, I'm not comfortable around dogs anymore. So you got a little hint of xenophobia, right? It's not full blown. Let's be honest. Everybody deal with some type of, take that word out of your medical books.
Especially if they're unattended. I think I would totally avoid them at this point.
Totally avoid them.
Lucky. Just days later, another woman and her dog were attacked by...
Shame on y'all. Y'all got some nerve to put something like that in y'all's medical. What do they call that? That is not any type of social disorder. I think they consider it a social disorder.
Just days later, another woman and her dog were attacked by a dog in Green Hills. The attack captured on this Ring camera.
Hey, the dog was scared. Right? According to these so-called experts, this is fear. That's fear too, what you just saw right there, according to them.
According to Green Hills police, the woman, her dog, and a neighbor who tried to help were all injured.
If that dog gets over the threshold, you're not getting him back.
Oh, really? You mean the safe family pet? Y'all keep trying to shove down people's throat every single day? You want to say that again, sir?
If that dog gets over the threshold, you're not getting him back.
Okay, well, if it gets over the threshold, maybe grandma over here will get lucky. You know, the owner of that monster got all these people who clearly out of shape. But I'm telling y'all, I don't care if it's Hulk Hogan. He'll be in trouble too. You remember that basketball player recently got attacked?
Because they can only see red and they don't reason.
Really? And this a family pet? I told y'all, just let these people talk. I want to hear from you attorneys. If I was trying to argue that these things should be banned, are there any lawyers out there who think they could defeat me? I don't think there is. There's no way anybody should be able to lose the case if they're saying these things should be banned. You got more evidence than you need.
To find ways to be better protected, Fox 19 caught up with dog trainer Scott Joyce.
And that's a trainer saying this.
Sergeant Schultz. Joyce says if a dog has your dog in his mouth and won't let go, you should
close off their airway. And how you would do that,
he said close off their airway,
is through the collar. So hopefully they have a collar on and you can twist it. You want to get their front legs off of the ground and stop their breathing. Because at that point, then they're going to open their mouth and we can get the other dog out.
Joyce says if the dog has no leash or collar, using a belt, rope, or your arm will also be effective. Now, if a dog is charging at you,
don't run. They have 4 legs, you have 2. You're not going to win. Stand as tall as you can.
Here we go. Here we go. Sacrifice yourself, right? Go ahead and break it down for us.
This is as threatening as you can be to the dog, and take a hard step at him So he didn't particularly care for that. And I didn't even do it to him. I did it next to him.
And if one is already under attack, Joyce says hitting the dog with an object or your hand in sensitive areas.
See? Now, what I suggest, stay armed. Dog try to attack you, protect yourself within, whatever rules or laws your state has. Check them out first. Especially when you're dealing with a bully breed. Try to step. And let's say it's more than one. Go ahead and stand tall and step towards. Stick your chest out like he just told you and step forward. Young people too. Y'all think this gonna work?
Like the nose or ears will help.
If you can whack them across the nose with it, that's your best bet.
Listen to him. Crazy.
Now, Joyce does say that.
Now, what's funny is some of this stuff might even work because dogs are so cowardly. But let me tell you something. If it's more than one dog, it's much less likely to work. Oh my goodness. Shout out to Cheryl Martin and shout out to Column in the super chat. I hope y'all sharing these videos. I think the world need to wake up a whole lot sooner than later. Realize the threat these things pose and understand we don't need that. We dealing with enough problems. All of us. This is just something not only that's not needed, no matter what level we are in society, we should avoid these things. There is no setting where these things are acceptable. And look at the betrayal. They always talking about loyal. These things turn against their owners and against people who are being nice to them, giving them free stuff. I can almost guarantee you that lady with that hole bitten in her face had given that dog at least one treat. And even if she didn't give it anything, like I always say, dogs receive all the food they eat from people. They should never attack people. We should be the last things they launch attacks against. Yet we're at the top of their list. Hey, if you want to object to my name, I hate dogs, good luck. I think that's an uphill battle for you. Shout out to everyone able to join me for this live stream. And I hope you're able to join me on the next as we continue with this crusade.